Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. A couple days after the big storm that we got here locally, and coming back from breakfast this morning, it's been too dark on the way out away from the house to see anything, how it's affected, and I didn't have the heart to go out in the garden yesterday and look. But I think today's the day we need to go survey the damage. I'll show you some local corn here that didn't fare so well on the way home now that we can see. You can see what it's done to this cornfield here. Just shreds the corn all the way down to the stalk. That's all that's left. You can see here on this side of the road the same thing. It's got the stalk even shredded down about halfway down. So I'm sure these folks will be calling for their crop insurance. That's probably a total loss on that field right there. It's even worse right here. Almost all the corn is broken about halfway down to the ground. Kelly was home yesterday on a regular day off, so we kind of hung out. I just couldn't bring myself to go out to the garden yesterday because I didn't want to see it. And I couldn't see the neighbor's corn on the way in the last 2 days I came into town. It was too dark in the morning. So today's the day we're going to go take a look. We did lose one window on the barn. Luckily nothing on the house. I don't know how the roof fared because we had some baseball size hail at some point. It wasn't constant, but the golf ball size was fairly constant, but every now and then out in the grass you'd see this baseball size one bounce up out of the grass. So we got some big stuff. Well, we've got up to the neighbor's corn here, and it does not appear to have much damage at all, which is good news for us, because if this isn't shredded, maybe the garden is not shredded. I can't even tell this corn has even been through a hailstorm. Neighbor's pretty fortunate. All right, we're back home on the homestead here. Let's go take a look around, see what we got. Well, Kelly's flowers out here around the grain bin look all right. Another good sign. Let's go out to the garden. Well, to my surprise, we don't have a lot of damage. Even the guineas are all excited. If you would have told me that I would have walked out here today and seen this site, basically nothing hurt, I would have bet money that this garden would have been shredded after seeing the hail the other night. But I can't hardly see any damage at all. There's a couple onions maybe got knocked over by a couple big pieces of hail, but the tomatoes really show no damage at all. The Brussels sprouts here you would have thought would have been all flattened to the ground. No such thing. A couple of the vines out there got blown around in the wind a little bit, but crazy. Absolutely crazy that we don't have more damage than this. The good Lord has got his hand on our property this year, let me tell you. The new asparagus got laid down a little bit, but I don't think that's going to hurt it any. It all still looks green. It just washed some of the more of the dirt into the trench with the torrential rains we've been getting with that storm. But I don't think it's going to hurt this stuff. Still waiting on our elbow that we need for this. It should be here like today or tomorrow. Now we did get some window damage to the barn. We lost a window pane in the barn, and one of our skylights on the shop also had a hole knocked in it. So we'll go show you that. But on the way, I'll show you something else. See there in the grass? You got a guinea in there sitting on a clutch of eggs. She's all camouflaged in there in the grass. You can see the gray, but she's completely like buried in there sitting on eggs. And if the dogs are outside and they come over here anywhere near her, the other guineas come running. They get all bowed up. It's a pretty funny thing to watch. And they'll run Ruby and Brandy off from this girl here. She's the third one we've got broody on some eggs. There's 2 more on the property. There's another one over under one of those trees over there, and we have yet to find the third guinea where she's sitting on eggs, but we did see her yesterday come out for a little bit, so we just don't know where she's hunkered in. Now when these guineas first started laying eggs, Kelly gathered some up, and one of our chickens, one of the hens, Hershey, the chocolate Orpington, she's been broody, so Kelly's been putting eggs underneath her, and she actually hatched some guineas, the ones we showed you on the channel earlier, the guinea keats that we have. They graduated to a new home last night. We'll show you. So this skylight up here has a big softball size hole knocked in the glass. I'm gonna have to go up on the roof at some point and see if those glass panes slide out of there. And if they do, we need to replace 2 of them, because this one over here already had a hole, and we get snow and rain down in the shop through those holes. They have hardware cloth on over the wires, but it hit hard enough where it went ahead and busted that glass. When we fix this damage, we may go with plexiglass, because you don't have the shattering issues with that, and it'll still let the light in. So the guinea keats graduated last night from the brooder, and they're now down here in the isolation cage, which doubles as a grow out cage. We put a little screen in the outer door yesterday. I did that project for Kelly, so they can visit with the big guineas, but she wants them to get to know each other first before she turns them loose. So they're doing well in here. There's Hershey down there. She's sitting on some more eggs. Gotta watch out for Cat now. He's the attack rooster. Kelly even got a sign for the inner coop door. This is where the big guineas have been hanging out. Kelly lets them out every morning, but they roost up on these bars at night because it's warm enough at night. We eventually want to build them their own structure. There's the window pane we lost there. Those are old wooden frame windows, so those frames may not be in the best shape, but there should be some putty on the inside, some clay-like stuff that holds those panes in. So you got to chip that stuff out and put a new pane in there. So let's go in and change clothes, and we'll come out and throw the ladder up. We'll get that cleaned up on the inside, get any shards of glass like that big chunk there that could fall down on somebody. We'll clean up what's on the floor, and we'll see what it's going to take to fix that. I want to get it fixed pretty quick, because when the birds find that hole, they're going to start wanting to live in the barn, and we don't want them in there defecating on everything in the barn. After I got done helping Kelly last night, I did a little work on the hay rake. I took these 2 bars out. We unscrewed them from the sockets in there, and we cleaned up those threads, and we greased everything up to where everything's going to work now. They're working good. And then we took another tire off, the easy tire that comes off. The tire shop thinks they've found us some tires that are going to work on this thing. They're going to try to put it on that rim, and if it works, they'll order up a second one. We're going to take this new tire that we got the other day, well, it's new used, And we're going to put it here on the front, replace this janky tire. Then we'll take this rim in to get the other new tire put on. I also fixed our cable here that disengages our gearbox. It was all out of adjustment, so now it works with the latch here. You just pull it, it's engaged now. You pull it back and flip up this cog here and let the lever go this way, and then it disengages the gearbox. We tried to pull the shaft out of the sleeve here. Could not get it out. We heated it. We put some penetrating oil down in the top. We beat on it with a really big hammer, and it will not budge. So what I think we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this sleeve off of here. We'll leave the shaft. The shaft is on this yoke here. We'll cut the sleeve off, trying to leave the shaft. So once it's off, we can take that shaft, clean it up, and then weld a new sleeve on the other yoke that's under this cover. It's going to be a little bit more work, but that is not budging. And then we have to buy a new U-joint. We may be able to save this one, but if it comes off like that one, we're probably going to be buying 2 U-joints. Then the other thing we need, there's 20 of these spring-loaded or rubber-mounted rake teeth that we're missing. So I ordered a pack of 25 on Amazon. So those teeth will be coming in, and all they do is just one bolt through the bar. That's all it takes. Of course, the way these bolts get all rusty, every bolt's probably going to fight me. So we'll go through a couple days ahead of time. We'll put PB Blaster on the ones that we need to take loose. And then any bolts that are missing will just be new bolts, so they'll be easy. I noticed something else while we were working on this thing too. This bracket up here allows for like different size tires. So like if the new tires we get are a little bigger around, they're still going to be 14-inch. But we can lower this bracket here by changing the spot that this pin is. And there's 3 positions. So we can rotate this thing up, which will in turn put the rake further down if we need to lower. So I just noticed this adjustment. Well, I still can't believe how fortunate we are on that garden. We really dodged, well, we've dodged a couple bullets this year with that garden because we've had at least 3 decent hailstorms. So I don't know what it is. I know hail can get really spotty, but you'd think we're close enough to the garden where that would have got the hail out there too. And it was coming down pretty good. So let's get changed. First thing we got to do is we got to sweep up all this broken glass. We got a big piece out here on the ground. And then there's one hanging precariously up there, ready to fall on somebody. I can't imagine if that fell and hit you, that'd slice you right open good. Got all of our glass cleaned up. Kelly got home. She hopped on the mower, which is one of her favorite things to do. So got to get our big extension ladder over here in the doorway so we can get up to the window. All right, ladder's good and secure. We got our bucket of tools here. Let's get up there and do see what we got. You can probably see this window is in terrible shape, and it used to open. You can see the windowsill out here is all rotted out, but fortunately this piece of wood under here underneath the sill is not rotted at all. So one of these days we're going to have to come in here and do a little work. We'll put a new sill in here, which won't be too hard. These sideboards are still nice and solid. We'll run a new sill all the way out and probably build a new window to go in here. But For now, we're just going to measure this opening. I've already taken all these little things out. You can see this one's about ready to fall out for this window. A lot of times they'll have window putty in here that you'll have to chip out, but this one just had wooden strips. So we'll measure the inside of this opening behind the lip, and we'll get probably just a piece of plexiglass for now and throw in there. That way we don't have it breaking again. Alright, super easy, just 9 by 12. We'll pick up some plexiglass in the morning when I go in for breakfast. We'll cut a piece and we'll come back and we'll fix this window. See you tomorrow. Alright folks, just like that, it's the next day. We were unable to find any glass in town, but we did find some plexiglass at the hardware store. So we're going to get that out. We're going to cut our 9 by 12 piece. I've got some silicone to hold it in the opening, and it should fix this up. So let's get her going. Got our 9-inch strip measured out on our plexiglass. We can cut 9 inches in our bandsaw here, and it's a less aggressive blade, which we want to use on this plexiglass. Use too aggressive, it'll want to kind of shatter. And then once we cut this strip off, we'll cut it off at 12 inches right there. Okay, we got our 9 by 12 piece cut. We'll file the edges a little bit, see if there's any burrs on there. There is on the back side. Got a protective coating on it so it won't scratch. Started to rain. We're supposed to get some weather in today, but it's not raining in the barn, so we'll go get this done. Okay, we've prepped our window surface with just a little bit of silicone, so when we throw that window pane in there, it'll have something to kind of stick to. So we'll put the window pane in. We've already dry fitted it, and then we're going to put a bead of silicone behind it to hold it in, just like the old window putty used to. Okay, got our new pane in place. Can't even hardly tell it's there other than a couple little smudges. So we'll put a bead of silicone behind it and we'll smooth it with our finger to smooth it out. And then this job will be done, other than the future repairs we'll have to do someday. Alright, we got that little window pane in there. Hopefully some birds don't fly into it because they think it's still open. Got to move this ladder out of the way now in case we get any bad weather tonight. It says there's a chance of it, so we can get the cars in here if need be. Alright, the barn is buttoned up. Let's take a look over here at Kelly's sunflower patch. Doing pretty good. They're 2-3 feet tall. She's got 2 other rows of flowers. I forget what they are. She's going to come in here and pull the pigweed out, which is basically the only thing that's going to overtake her flowers. But they're starting to send out blooms already. She's going to have a pretty nice stand out here with the drip irrigation she put in here. They'll do really well. Well, FedEx came by and our DripWorks order came in. Always well packaged. Ordered up some fittings. These elbow right here is what I need for the asparagus, but we've got some assorted fittings that we stocked up on that we'll put in our drip irrigation box for when we need to do repairs or if we're doing new installation. So let's go fix the asparagus, right? Looks like we've got a couple more guinea keats have hatched. She's got 2 of them up there with her on the hill running around. They're hiding in the grass. Oh, there's one. There's 2. Not getting too far from Mom. Here's the fitting we need to fix here. We have our riser coming up out of the ground. We need to take the stopper off of that. And then we got a hose end on that we need to cut off or take off. And then we'll put our elbow on there. And we can get it done because of this easy DripWorks system. It'll be done just like that. Yeah, see how easy that was? Now what I think I'm going to do is I'll go get a T-post and I'll put a T-post right on the end of that. So if the grass ever gets tall for some reason there, we're not going to run that over with a lawnmower. Change of plans, I found a electrical fence stake. We put that in there, so that'll work just fine. Alright, last thing we'll probably do outside today is, if you recall, we have not been able to get this shaft apart. This part slides into this part. So we're going to take our grinder, we're going to cut it off right back here at the yoke. I'm hoping that this shaft isn't all the way in there, but even if it is, we'll still be able to separate it. And then we can re-weld it later after we replace the U-joints. Then we'll be all good again. Boy, this thing is not budging at all. It's frozen in there good. I don't want to beat too much on this end and mushroom this out to where it's not going to go through there. So we're going to get the torch and a rosebud, and we'll put some more serious heat on this. We're not too concerned with this U-joint because we're replacing it, so we're not worried about getting that hot. But we're going to get this good and hot. We're going to burn that paint off and swell that thing up as much as we can. Well, that was quite an ordeal. That took quite a bit to get out of there, quite a bit of heat. Finally got it to budge. So we're going to have to clean this rod up really well. Get it to where it's sliding in and out of there real well. Got our shaft all polished up. We're finding that the problem isn't really with this piece. It's with our tubing. So we can get about halfway in there and then it just jams again. So we're going to buy a new piece of this tubing. It shouldn't be too expensive. This is rectangular. You can see that it's not square. It's longer on one side than the other. That way the yokes get timed correctly, because you can't put them in backwards or 90 degrees out. So we'll get a new piece of this. We'll get 2 new U-joints, but that's not going to happen today. We got a late start today because of a doctor's appointment that we went to for our 3-month reevaluation on my diabetes. The doctor's appointment went great. Just through me watching what I eat, my A1C is down to 6.0, and that's taking no medication. So that is great news. The doctor was real pleased. I'm down 46 pounds since all of this started 3 months ago. Feeling good, other than the back issues, but those are tapering off a little bit. So Kelly and I are going to go to a movie and dinner tonight. We're going to go see Twister. And you're probably saying that you live in Nebraska, why would you need to go see a movie? You can just look outside. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good movie. The star of the show was in Top Gun. He was the hot rod guy there in Top Gun. I forget his name, Hangman or whatever his name was. So we're going to go see that. So hope you enjoyed this video. Just tinkering around the farm a little bit. Not much damage. We're pleased with that. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. We're going to get cleaned up. So come back and see us here on the farm.